Sophia Laurent has built walls higher than any skyscraper in New York. Power, control, perfection, that's her world. But what happens when Ethan Cole walks in, armed with nothing but coffee, croissants, and the nerve to see past her armor? From stolen breakfasts to midnight tacos under city lights, and one dangerous truth Sophia can't run from: her heart is starting to betray her head. Welcome back to the Velvet Story, where love tangles with power, and every chapter pulls you deeper. Today, we dive into chapters 12 through 14 of The Best Man's Vows, where Sophia's guard cracks, a real date changes everything, and she faces her biggest battle yet: heart versus head. So grab your headphones, settle in, because this is where things get irresistible. Chapter 12. Sophia's Guard Cracks. The morning after the rehearsal dinner dawned far too quickly. Sophia sat at her desk in her penthouse office, laptop open, phone buzzing with emails, and a stack of color-coded binders glaring at her like impatient soldiers. Her assistant had left her a note: "Don't forget to eat breakfast." Sophia stared at the note for a full minute before tossing it aside. Breakfast was a luxury. Today was packed with meetings, vendor confirmations, and last-minute crisis prevention. She had almost convinced herself she didn't need food when her office door opened without a knock. "Do billionaires not believe in boundaries?" she muttered, not looking up. "Only when we bring coffee," Ethan Cole replied, smooth as ever. Sophia froze. She glanced up, and there he was, grinning, holding 2 cups of coffee and a paper bag that smelled suspiciously like buttery croissants. "You can't just barge in here," she said, even as her stomach betrayed her with a low growl. "I could," Ethan said easily, striding in as if he owned the place. He set the coffee and bag on her desk, pulling out a chair for himself. Sophia crossed her arms. "What do you want?" "To feed you," he said simply, sliding one of the cups toward her. "Do you even remember the last time you had breakfast?" She hesitated, then reached for the cup. The coffee was perfect. Hot, strong, just the way she liked it. "How did you—" she started. Ethan smirked. "I pay attention." She hated how that sent a little thrill through her. They sat in companionable silence for a while, sipping coffee and nibbling croissants. Sophia found herself relaxing. Just a fraction. Which was dangerous. "So," Ethan said casually, "are you going to tell me why you looked like you wanted to stab Vivian DuPont with a canapé skewer last night?" Sophia shot him a look. "I did not." "You did," Ethan said cheerfully. "It was terrifying. Also, strangely attractive." She nearly choked on her croissant. "You're impossible." "Correction," he said with a lazy grin. "I'm observant and very patient." Sophia shook her head, trying not to smile. He was infuriating and kind. Her guard wavered, just slightly. Later that day, during a venue walkthrough, Sophia found herself cornered again, not by Vivian Bedtime, but by a photographer asking invasive questions about her personal life. "Ms. Laurent, can you confirm rumors about you and Mr. Cole?" the man pressed, camera flashing. Sophia's pulse quickened. She opened her mouth to issue a sharp rebuttal, but before she could, Ethan appeared, stepping smoothly between her and the lens. "That's enough," he said calmly but firmly. "This is a professional event. No gossip, no photographs." The photographer stammered and retreated. Sophia stared at Ethan, her heart thumping. "You didn't have to do that," she said. "Yes, I did, because I respect you." The simplicity of it knocked the wind out of her. Respect. It wasn't a word she heard often from men who looked at her. Something inside her softened. That evening, she found herself walking beside Ethan down Fifth Avenue after another long day of planning. They were supposed to part ways, but somehow neither of them moved. You always carry the world on your shoulders. Doesn't it ever get heavy? Sophia looked straight ahead. If I put it down, someone else will drop it.
Maybe, he said, or maybe someone would help you carry it. She glanced at him sharply. He wasn't teasing this time, his expression the sincere, open. Her chest tightened. She wanted to laugh it off, to deflect with sarcasm, but she couldn't, not this time. "You make it sound so easy," she whispered. "It is," he said gently. "At least it could be, with the right person." The words lingered in the air between them, electric and terrifying. For once, Sophia didn't retreat behind her walls. She didn't change the subject or push him away. Instead, she allowed herself to smile, soft, small, but real. "Thank you," she said quietly. Ethan didn't gloat, he didn't tease, he only smiled back, warm and steady. And in that moment, Sophia knew. Her guard had cracked. Not shattered, not yet, but cracked enough for something dangerous and wonderful to slip through. Chapter 13. The Real Date. Sophia Laurent did not go on spontaneous outings. Her calendar was color-coded, her days blocked in 15-minute increments. Even relaxation was penciled in like a quarterly audit, which is why she had no excuse, none whatsoever, for standing in front of a neon-lit food truck at 11 o'clock at night with Ethan Cole at her side. "Street tacos?" she said, staring at the menu in disbelief. "You brought me to a truck?" "A legendary truck," Ethan corrected, hands casually in his pockets. "These are the best tacos in Manhattan. Life-changing, really. You're about to have a spiritual awakening." Sophia crossed her arms. "I have Michelin stars in my phone contacts. And yet you've never had a taco at 2 a.m. under questionable lighting. Don't knock the experience." He leaned in, voice dropping. "Besides, isn't it refreshing to be somewhere no one cares about your last name?" That shut her up. The vendor handed them paper plates piled high with steaming tortillas, cilantro, and lime wedges. Sophia regarded hers like it might bite. Ethan grinned. "Don't overthink it. Fold, bite, enjoy." Sophia raised a brow. "You sound like a meditation app." "Fine. Think of it as a hostile takeover. The tortilla is your acquisition. Seize it." Against her better judgment, she laughed, and then took a cautious bite. Her eyes widened. "Oh." "Oh?" Ethan echoed, amused. She chewed, swallowed, and gave a reluctant nod. "That's unfairly good. See? Told you. Spiritual awakening." They ended up perched on a bench nearby, city lights flickering overhead, paper plates balanced on their laps. Around them, late-night wanderers stumbled by, cabs honked, and a saxophone played somewhere in the distance. It was chaotic, imperfect, and oddly perfect. Sophia licked a drop of salsa from her thumb and caught Ethan watching her. Not with smugness, not with hunger, just watching, like he was memorizing the moment. She felt her chest tighten. Dangerous territory. "So," Ethan said lightly, "what's the most reckless thing you've ever done?" Sophia scoffed. "Define reckless." "Something not pre-approved by a board of directors." She smirked. "I once invested in a startup, after only a week of research." He chuckled. "Scandalous. What was it?" "A luxury pet spa franchise." "Dogs and facials?" "Hot stone massages, aromatherapy baths, the works." She hid a smile. "It tripled within a year."
Of course it did, he said, shaking his head. Even your rebellions are profitable. And you, what's your most reckless decision? He leaned back, gaze steady, asking you to have tacos with me tonight. Her breath caught. He didn't grin, didn't tease, just let the words sit there between them, heavy with intent. Sophia looked away, focusing on the city lights. Her instinct was to deflect, to armor up. But instead, she whispered, "And would you say it was worth it?" When she dared glance back, Ethan was smiling, softly this time, more than worth it. They walked the streets afterward, lingering under glowing lampposts. Sophia found herself telling him stories she rarely shared, about sneaking into her father's library as a child, about the first business deal she ever closed on her own. He listened, really listened. No interruptions, no agenda. And when she teased him back, mocking his terrible college band name, the Velvet Anchors, really? He laughed so hard he nearly tripped over the curb. By the time they reached her hotel, Sophia's cheeks ached from smiling. Ethan stopped at the entrance, hands shoved in his pockets, eyes warm on hers. "No headlines," he said quietly. "No strategies. Just you and me. Tonight was ours." She swallowed hard. "You make it sound so simple." "It is," he replied. "Complicated is optional." For one suspended moment, the air between them hummed. He didn't move closer, didn't try to kiss her, just waited. And against every instinct she had, Sophia wanted to close the distance herself. She didn't. Not yet. Instead, she whispered, "Good night, Ethan." His smile was slow, patient. "Good night, Sophia." As she slipped inside, heart pounding, one terrifying thought lodged itself in her mind. This didn't feel like chaos anymore. It felt like the beginning of something she might not be able to control. Chapter 14. Heart versus Head. Sophia Laurent had survived boardroom wars, shareholder ambushes, and 100 front-page scandals, but none of it compared to the disaster unfolding inside her own chest. The morning after the taco truck, she sat in her suite with a cup of untouched coffee growing cold beside her. Her assistant's texts blinked on her phone, reminders of tomorrow's rehearsal, of vendor calls, of her father's scheduled check-in. She ignored them all. Instead, she stared at the city skyline and replayed Ethan's words. Worth it. 2 syllables that had lodged in her ribs, refusing to leave. Sophia prided herself on control. She did not slip. She did not indulge in reckless impulses. And yet last night she had laughed until her sides ached, eaten tacos from a paper plate, and walked the streets with a man who wasn't afraid of her last name or the power it carried. It had felt good. Too good. Dangerous. Her father's voice cut through her thoughts like a scalpel. Our name is not a toy. Headlines follow us forever. She pressed her fingers to her temples. He wasn't wrong. One photograph of her leaning too close to Ethan, one whispered rumor at tomorrow's rehearsal dinner, and she'd be reduced to gossip fodder. Again. Sophia couldn't afford that. Not now. Not when every strategic alliance, every investor, every business partner watched her with hawk-like scrutiny. She thought of Ethan's patient smile, his steady gaze. Complicated is optional. He made it sound so simple. But simplicity wasn't an option for her. Her world was a chessboard. Every move calculated, every slip exploitable. The doorbell chimed. Sophia startled, quickly slipping her mask back into place before opening the door. And there he was, Ethan Cole, leaning casually against the frame, holding 2 cups of coffee and a paper bag that smelled suspiciously like croissants. "Morning," he said easily. "Thought you could use fuel." Sophia blinked. "You're here." Sharp observation. He offered her 1 cup. "Don't worry, no paparazzi downstairs. I checked." Her lips twitched despite herself. "Do you make a habit of ambushing women at their doors?" "Only the ones who looked like they didn't sleep well," he said, eyes scanning her face with surprising gentleness. "Bad dreams?" "Bad thoughts," she corrected softly. Ethan didn't press. Instead, he set the bag on the table and pulled out a chair, like he belonged there. Like he'd always belonged there. And the terrifying part, it didn't feel wrong. They ate in companionable silence, the city humming beyond the windows, but Sophia's mind refused to quiet. Finally, she set her croissant down. "Ethan, this, whatever it is, it can't go anywhere." The words felt like glass in her throat. "Not with who I am, not with the way the world watches me." Ethan leaned back, studying her. No anger, no wounded pride, just calm certainty. "You're asking me to walk away?" Her chest tightened. "I'm asking you not to expect more." For a moment, silence stretched. Then Ethan's smile was slow, steady. "Sophia, I don't want your headlines. I don't want your name, or your empire, or your polished perfection." He leaned in, voice dropping. "I want you, the woman who laughed at my terrible band name, the woman who tried street tacos for the first time, the one who looked at me last night like she didn't want the night to end." Her pulse jumped. "I'm not asking you to risk everything. I'm just asking you to let yourself feel something, to stop living only in your head and give your heart a chance." Sophia gripped her cup so tightly she thought it might shatter. Her heart screamed yes. Her head whispered no. And for the first time in her life, she had no idea which voice to trust. That night, when she finally lay down to sleep, Sophia Laurent admitted one dangerous truth. She was falling for Ethan Cole, and she didn't know if she was strong enough to stop it. Sophia Laurent has survived the ruthless world of billion-dollar boardrooms, but Ethan Cole, he's the one man who might dismantle her defenses, not with force, but with patience, respect, and a smile that makes her forget every rule she's lived by. Her head says walk away, her heart says hold on, and the more she tries to control it, the closer she is to losing control completely. What happens when the woman who never bends starts to break for love? Don't miss what comes next in The Best Man's Vows. Make sure you hit subscribe to The Velvet Story, tap that notification bell, and join me for the next chapter, because trust me, this love story, it's only getting more dangerous and more delicious.